All right, let me ask you something. What if I told you that a letter written from inside a Roman prison almost 2,000 years ago holds the absolute key to your true identity? Seriously, today we're going to unlock this powerful message from the Apostle Paul. It was sent to a group of believers who were, well, they were forgetting who they were. And believe me, that same message still has life-changing power for every single one of us today.
You know, this timeline here tells a pretty sobering story. Around 60 to 62 AD, you've got Paul pouring his heart out from a prison cell, desperately trying to remind the church in Ephesus who they are in Christ. But then, look what happens just a generation later. Jesus himself has to warn them they've lost their first love. See, this isn't just some ancient history lesson. It's a huge warning sign about how fast we can lose our way when we forget who we really are.
So what was the big problem? Well, it's a problem we all face, really. A case of mistaken identity. And just to show you how easy it is to get things completely wrong, let's step into the shoes of a few detectives who, well, they totally missed the mark.
Okay, so picture this. 3 wannabe detectives are in their final interview. The chief inspector slides a photo across his desk. He says, "The #1 skill for a detective is perception. I want you to look at this wanted man and tell me, how would you pick him out of a crowd?"
The first recruit, he just puffs out his chest and says, "Easy, Chief. The man only has one ear." The inspector's face just drops. He goes, "You fool, it's a side profile. Get out!" So the second recruit comes in, and with just as much confidence, he says, "Well, it's obvious, isn't it? He only has one eye." The inspector slams his hand on the desk. "It's a side profile. What is wrong with you people? Get out!"
All right, so the third recruit comes in. He studies the photo really closely. The inspector is just about to give up on humanity at this point. Finally, the recruit looks up and says he wears contact lenses. The chief is just floored. He checks the file, and the kid is right. He says, "Incredible! How in the world did you know that?"
Simple, the recruit says. You can't wear glasses with only one eye and one ear. Now, okay, we can laugh at that, right? But listen, this is exactly what the Apostle Paul is talking about. We look at ourselves, we see all the different pieces, but we come to a totally wrong conclusion about who we are. We're all walking around with a case of mistaken identity.
And Paul? He's like that chief inspector, trying to set the record straight about our identity. But his words, man, they carry the weight of eternity. He tells us that before Christ, we were dead in our transgressions and sins. Now, that isn't just some poetic language. That's a spiritual diagnosis.
So what does it even mean to be spiritually dead? It means we were totally cut off from God's life. We were just chasing the empty promises of this world, slaves to our own selfish desires. The bottom line, we were helpless, we were hopeless, and our identity wasn't children of God, but children of wrath. That's a heavy diagnosis for sure.
So how do you fix a dead identity? The truth is, you don't. You get a completely new one. Paul puts it so radically here. I have been crucified with Christ. That old self, the one defined by sin and death, it's gone. Nailed to the cross. The life I live now, he says, is actually Christ living in me. That's a total identity swap.
So think about it. We were dead. We were helpless. We were lost. I mean, the story should have ended right there. But then, we get 2 of the most powerful, game-changing words in the entire Bible. But God. Man, those 2 words just flip the entire script. They're like a siren announcing a rescue, a divine interruption in our story.
Okay, so if that was the problem, what's the solution? Well, it's not about trying harder or being a better person. It's about receiving a brand new identity, our true identity in Christ. And here it is. But God, who is so rich in mercy, fueled by this incredible love, he reached down to us. And get this, while we were still dead, he made us alive together with Christ. We didn't do a single thing to earn it. This was a rescue mission, pure and simple.
Think of it like this. In baptism, it's like we're being buried with Christ. That old, dead identity gets put in the grave for good. But just as Christ was raised from the dead, guess what? We too are raised to walk in a brand new life. It's a complete reboot.
But it gets even better. God didn't just bring us back to life. He gave us a massive promotion. He raised us up with him, and, I absolutely love this part, he seated us with him in the heavenly places. That's our new address, our new status. We are living, breathing proof of his incredible grace forever and ever. Just let that sink in for a second. We've gone from dead to alive, from helpless to raised up, from children of wrath to being seated right there with Christ. Our lives are now a living testament, a forever display of the over-the-top, amazing grace of God.
So how do we get this new identity? Paul could not be clearer. It's by grace, through faith. You can't earn it. You can't work for it. It is, and it always will be, a free gift from God.
So what exactly are grace and faith? Well, grace is God giving you what you absolutely do not deserve: His love, His forgiveness, His very life. And faith? Faith is just your hand reaching out to receive that amazing gift, simply believing that Jesus is who He says He is.
And Paul adds this really crucial detail. It's not of works, so that no one may boast. There's absolutely no room for pride here. But then comes this amazing twist. We aren't saved by our good works, but we are saved for them. We are God's workmanship, His very own masterpiece, created with a purpose.
And you know that word workmanship in the original Greek is poema. Does that sound familiar? It's where we get our word poem. You are God's poem. You are His masterpiece, created to live out the good works that He designed specifically for you from the very beginning of time. See, your new identity, it comes with a brand new purpose.
Centuries before Paul ever wrote his letter, the prophet Isaiah painted this beautiful picture for us. We are the clay, and God is the potter. He takes our broken, messy lives and reshapes us into something beautiful and useful for Him. Our true identity is found in being the work of His hands.
So we've seen the problem of mistaken identity, and we've seen the incredible solution God offers. This isn't about trying harder or just being a better person. No, it's about letting go of that old you and receiving a brand new identity as a free gift. So the question Paul's letter leaves us with is this, and it's for you, right here, right now. Are you ready to find your true identity in Christ?